Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Budget Prepping. I'm your host, Dr. Matt. Yesterday was a fascinating day, and one of the things that I've started to change in my prepping activities is to accumulate some precious metals that could be used for bartering. Now, I'm not going to have like $100,000 in fancy pants coins in my collection. I'm just looking for pretty much straight bullion, and considering the denominational size, gold is, although it's a lot easier to store a few gold coins. However, silver bullion is fascinating, and whether it's rectangular shaped or the coin shaped bullion, which they call rounds, that's pretty cool too. But yesterday I came across a 1942 Canadian coin, a Canadian quarter. So this one's got King George on it. Nice looking fellow. Doesn't even look remotely like me. But anyway, I decided that, you know what? There are opportunities to go urban treasure hunting. And I decided, you know what? Let's do an episode on that. We'll kind of break away from our bug out bag activities that we've been doing. And we'll do an episode on where you can find various stuff. So I got a list here for you here. One of my favorite things to consider is what we're going to call coin roll hunting, and that is where you go to the bank and you take some cash and then you buy rolls of coins. Now, you can find silver in dimes, silver in quarters, and also 50-cent pieces. Those are the more common ones. And it just seems like you'll have a little bit more success with the 50-cent pieces. However, banks generally don't like to give it out because it's just an annoying circulation type thing that they have. So they usually kind of, maybe, hesitate a little bit. You can order on certain occasions a full box, which is $500. And yeah, sure, it takes you a while to go through them and you got to re-roll them when you're done. But there's some pretty good values that you can find. Now, the average is to find one per box of 500. So yeah, that's a lot of rolls and a lot of effort to end up with a coin that's only going to gain you, maybe somewhere between $4 and $6, depending on the spot price of gold at the time. But it's still entertaining. I got my grandkids involved in that. I picked up a couple of rolls. And there's a gal who's converting literally 5-gallon buckets of coins. And there's opportunities to do that. So here's the secret on the dimes and quarters and the 50-cent pieces. Everything is 64 and older. So pre-65 has got a high percentage of silver on there. And if I recall, it's about 80%. But one of the few secrets in this whole process is that the 50-cent pieces, the half dollars, that are 65 through 70 are 40% silver. And I didn't know that until just recently. So those are the ones that seem to slide under the radar. So they'll still have a little bit of that copper color on the sides, on the reeds as they call them. So you have to literally look at the date of every single one. So that's kind of a cool thing to find. Now with the silver stackers, those that collect silver at home, they usually refer to these coins as junk silver. It's like, okay, but they still have a pretty good value and they're very tradable and they're a low denomination in those times of bartering. So that's where it comes into play on that. Another opportunity to consider is going to garage sales and coming up with some sterling silver from garage sales. If it doesn't say sterling silver, it's not sterling silver. Now, there's a few things to consider. It may have a 3-digit number on there, like 850 or 925. Those also get my attention as well. You got to make sure that they're not weighted. If they are, then you literally have to ruin the piece on purpose. And for example, I picked up a cream and sugar set, and I literally took some side cutters and whacked the bottom off, chiseled out the weight, and the leftover was sterling silver. And in that case, then I took it to my local coin shop and traded it as milt value for some silver rounds. So in fact, I got 2 silver rounds and 2 pieces of junk silver in a dime and a quarter from that. So it works out pretty good. Now, another consideration is going to be panning for gold, and that's going to be another episode. I'm going to do that later today. The grandkids are here. We're going to go out here pretty quick and go do that. and that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, a little bit of investment to consider, but actually, it's more of an activity for them. So, it doesn't take much. I mean, literally, you need a pan. That's about it. Now, I got a little squeeze bottle that came in my set to suck up the silver too. I've got a little glass vial to put any flakes or gold flour in, as they would refer to it. And that sucker thing is pretty cool in being able to pull that out. And then you just, you can put that in a pan on the stove, dry it out pretty quick. And then you get those flakes into your little glass vial, and then you can take that to a coin shop and trade that in that way. Another consideration is metal detecting. I picked up 2 great metal detectors at garage sales. One was $10 and the other one was $5. Worth every penny. And with the grandkids, we hit a hot spot. That was formerly a church's activity where they put out a blue tar, put in a bale of hay, all fluffed it all up, and put in some coins for the little kids to go attack. Well, after literally only a grand total of about 3 or 4 hours of work, we ended up with $8. So we're going to take that to a coin shop, and the kids will trade it in on a copper round bullion, which is, like, for lack of a better term, a giant copper coin. So again, great free money waiting to be had there. Another great option is to get a hold of any used copper wire that has insulation on it and strip it. There's great YouTube videos. I'll throw in a link to one of my favorites on how to strip copper wire. There's all kinds of different ways. I've done it with just hold it in my hand and just carefully hold a trim knife and pull back on it, no big deal. I've come up with another one that uses some sheet metal screws to be able to use the point of a screw to put a slit in it, and then I just pull it through. And then once I'm done, then I just, it's pretty easy to remove it. And man, you can rip through a lot of stuff. Even if you're replacing screws every now and then, you can rip through a lot of wire. And I have maybe equivalent to about 50 pounds. Now, the price of copper is just okay right now, but it is an industrial metal and it has lots of uses, and the price does fluctuate dramatically. I'm hoping to get it to trade it in when it gets up to about $4. So that's pretty cool to be able to do that. Another is for those that have access to PC boards. There's a lot of gold in PC boards. Usually old computers, especially when a board will plug into another board, that plug-in area is referred to as fingers, and you can remove that with a vinegar and salt type stuff to knock the gold off, and then you can melt it down with an inexpensive crucible and a little propane type bottle. It's actually MAP gas. It gets a little hotter, and you can melt that down. Again, YouTube videos are available for that. And then another thing that I've gotten into is I have some friends that are electricians, and the electricians actually have access to old bad circuit breakers. And every time a circuit breaker fails, they have to throw it out. Well, I get a hold of them. I hammer them up into little pieces, and the contact points, the little points that are doing that, there's silver there, and that's actually pretty good silver. I do have to, again, harvest that out, which means I do have to throw it in a crucible and melt it, but it's available. So I'll put in a link for my crucible and the other metal detecting stuff that I've come across. But these are my things that I do to be able to harvest free money out there. And whenever I do one, I convert it to a silver round at my local coin shop. And probably should gives a little bit of a commentary on the coin shops. Be sure to pick a coin shop that you trust. And the way to do that is ask around. Now, my coin shop is great at me going in and just buying something. Great. Trade-in value, then their reputation is not quite so good. And when it comes to actually trading coins that have collector value, never ever go to my coin shop. But it's the close one. There are others that are fantastic at that. Now, again, as a stacker prepper or prepper stacker, I am not one to focus on the collector value of coins. Numismatic or something, there's a big word there that goes there. Again, I don't do that because I would want to barter away my silver when a disaster comes. So that's just me It's up to you to be able to make that choice yourself. But anyway, this is the things that I do literally to find free money. Has it paid for itself? Almost. Actually, now that I consider it, for all of the stuff I've traded in, yeah, it's paid for itself. Yeah. So, and again, today we're going to go look for gold, see if we can find something. Even if we find, $5, we're having a great adventure with the kids. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. I'll probably I'll do a video of us panning. We'll see how we do. We'll get to show off what we find. It's pretty cool. And give you an idea, I found 2 pans for $14. 2 whole pans. I mean, the kids are loving it. Anyway, take care, everybody. If you have any questions, please throw in a comment below and hit the like and subscribe. That's pretty helpful. It really does help me out. Follow the links to Amazon. Do all your shopping with those guys. But first, start with my link, because then I get a little something out of that and it helps pay the bills. So appreciate it very much. So with that, I'll sign off and we'll see you next time.